when did you start your organization, the Tunisian American Young Professional, and how did it start?
So we started it about a month or a couple of months after the revolution.
Okay.
We realized that as a diaspora set of friends, that we needed to do something to give back to our country. In general, the Tunisian diaspora has never wanted to be involved in any activity, in fact, for fear of being associated to the former regime or being used by the former regime. And so after the revolution that has drastically changed, people were energized, they wanted to contribute, and we just wanted to set up sort of a framework so that people could, give back. And when we discussed it internally among a lot of friends, we thought that we could help most effectively with economic and investment and entrepreneurship type of matters, because that's what our background is all about. And so we decided to launch this diaspora association that's focused on increasing economic ties, cooperation, and exchanges between Tunisia and the U.S.
Okay, and so what achievement have your organization done?
Very good question. Very good question. So we have two poles. We have investments, and what that means is that we tour chambers of commerce, think tanks, universities, and we present Tunisia's value proposition in terms of investment to potential investors and potential exporters. And so what we've been doing is we've been going on a roadshow along actually with His Excellency, the Tunisian ambassador in the United States, has been very helpful. And we've been presenting, what makes Tunisia different.
Right.
Tunisia has very good fundamentals, strong fundamentals, but we wanted to dig down and sort of perhaps customize these fundamentals to what the US market would be interested in, and also pinpoint some of the areas that truly make Tunisia different.
Right.
So, as I said, Tunisia has fundamentals, but I think now with the revolution, it has much more than that. It has transparency, rule of law. Certainly Libya is a great opportunity as well. So we've been outlining all of these things. That's one achievement. The second achievement is entrepreneurship. We've been trying to support young entrepreneurs in Tunisia, basically with their soft skills, their life skills, the way to present things, the way to build business cases. And so we've been assembling projects and trying to support these entrepreneurs and also connect them. Connect them with networks in Tunisia, connect them with organizations here in the US that help them, both in terms of funding and in terms of testing their ideas.
I saw that you met the President Obama, right?
Right.
Yeah. How was that? How was that experience?
It was very honoring, and it was for just a couple of really, probably 30-second all in all.
Right.
I told him that that with some incremental efforts from his administration, that Tunisia could really become a role model for the region, a successful case study, and that I told him about what I was doing as a diaspora associations, and what he told me was very interesting. He told me that he thought that Tunisia that it was very, very important to him that Tunisia succeed, and that it was one of a real important item in his agenda and his State Department's agenda.
Yeah.
And it's actually being materialized, as you can see. And I think there's been a U.S. official in Tunisia every week since the revolution.
Wow.
And now this week on November 15th, there's a big Tunisia conference, investment conference, that's being held at the State Department, that's going to basically gather Tunisian diaspora people, Tunisia entrepreneurs coming from Tunisia, U.S. investors, and also a number of the U.S. officials. So there's a lot of actions in the ground.
So I have a specific question for you. So if you were a consultant and you have to convince American investors to invest in Tunisia, what do you think you can tell them? What Tunisia can offer that other countries cannot?
That's a great question. I think Tunisia has strong fundamentals. It is the most educated nation in the Arab world and in Africa. It has the seventh largest availability of scientists and engineers in the world. It is a country that has a robust infrastructure. It's a country that has solid institutions, as proven by the fact that the country didn't go in complete disarray after the revolution. The institutions were there to hold the country. And it's a country that's very unique in the Arab world, and because it is a country where women and men have equal rights, and having women basically be that force to strengthen your economy is extremely important. Now, these are sort of the traditional fundamentals of Tunisia. Right. This revolution is bringing something that's very new, in the sense that we're getting closer to some of the U.S. values around rule of law, around transparency, around sort of fair dispute resolution, which are very important components that were missing in Tunisia before. So those are very important components. And then finally, what I would say is, a number of countries in the Mediterranean region state that they are, a natural hub for expansion to other markets. And I think it's a fair thing to say that Morocco states that, Egypt states that, Turkey does it, etc. I think Tunisia says it as well, but I think fundamentally what one has to remember is that Tunisia has a free trade agreement with pretty much everybody in the region, not only with the European Union, but also with the Arab countries, the African countries. That's a fairly unique thing. And then if you are an American investor and you're thinking as Libya, as sort of the future El Dorado, then Tunisia makes a lot of sense for you as a basis, because Libya lacks a lot of infrastructure.
Right.
And Libya is really the next El Dorado for a number of investors. Tunisia and Libya are very close politically, culturally. Tunisia has helped tremendously Libya, in fact, come out of their crisis. And I think it makes a lot of sense for Tunisia to be sort of that basis, for investment out to Libya.
So, have you ever been to Georgia here in Atlanta?
I lived 7 years in Atlanta.
Oh, really? So what would you tell? Because now Atlanta is growing year after year, and big companies are here. How would you attract those companies, for example, for foreign direct investment in Tunisia? What would you tell them?
If people are interested in investments, I think it, irrespective of who is governing in Tunisia, I think the bottom line here is as I said, the vote that has happened in Tunisia was transparent, and the future of Tunisia is really to abide and embrace, governance and transparency and rule of law. And if you tell me I am an investor and I'm interested in investing in Tunisia, I would say that you have the proper environment now to do so. It wasn't the case before with the old regime. Tunisia, has a very interesting value proposition, and I think this value proposition is being strengthened by the fact that it's embracing democracy and it's embracing these values that we believe in here in the U.S. And so, there are really, when you are an investor, you have to drill down into sort of what matters to you. And, our association can answer questions around, why do you want to invest in Tunisia? But it can only answer them for specific, if we understand sort of what the desire is, then we can drill down to sort of the real things. Do you have the proper infrastructure? We believe that Tunisia is very well equipped compared to the other Mediterranean countries as far as infrastructure. Do you have the right cost structure? We also believe that the right cost structure is in place in Tunisia, especially compared to Egypt and Morocco and Jordan. So there are a number of things, but if you want to drill down to the details, it becomes sort of more of a one-on-one discussion where we can provide information and then let the person and the investor sort of make up their mind from there. But we certainly would welcome discussions with any investors, and we would certainly welcome presenting, frankly, to any investor sort of this Tunisia value proposition.
Okay. So far your association has been supported by more Tunisians, Americans, Tunisian who live abroad, who live here.
It's a diaspora association, and so I think all of our members, in fact, are from the Tunisian diaspora. They work in the U.S. They are Tunisians or Tunisian Americans, and they have experience in their respective fields. We have people who are experts in ICT, people who are expert in energy, in biotech, in finance. We have people in the oil industry. We have people in tourism. And so those are the sectors that if a company is interested in sort of understanding better, what's going on in that region of the world regarding these sectors, we can hook them up with CEOs, VPs, executive VPs of companies who are Tunisian American and who can provide them some information about these things.
Okay. Well, I'm very happy to see that there's still some Arab people that still care about their country and they want to bring them up. So I thank you very much for your interview and for the time, and I wish you all the luck for you and your association. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for having me, and I appreciate all what Ahsan is doing there.
Right.
Thanks for all the hard work. Hopefully, we will be in Atlanta sometimes very soon, either at the beginning of December or mid-January. Okay. We're going to do a roadshow with the bilateral Chamber of Commerce there, and the Tunisian ambassador is going to be with us as well. And so we'll have hopefully an opportunity to speak directly to investors and to, frankly, anyone who is interested in knowing a little bit about Tunisia, because at the end of the day, we can't expect people to invest without knowing what they are going to invest in.
Right.
And so we consider these discussions more as here's a presentation about Tunisia. If you want to come visit, we'd love to have you as a tourist. Investment can come after, once people sort of look at the country, see that the level of sophistication, the level of infrastructure, women's rights, etc. Right. They think they are starting to be more interested in sort of what the investment portion of things is.